Have you ever thought about why it is so easy to work in some teams and so hard to work in others? While some teams will give you energy and sometimes the team will just take all the energy away from you. And you know what, this isn't just a feeling. Teams have a huge variation in how efficient they are or how intelligent they are. If you take an average team in an average organization today, they will spend approximately 38% of their time and focus on the task at hand. Now, a high-performing team with the same conditions will spend up to 76% of their time and focus on the task at hand. And this is a huge variation, especially if you're considering that people in organizations today, they spend approximately 80% of their working time collaborating with others. The reason for this is because we are much more specialized today than we were before. So we need each other's competence and knowledge to be able to be successful. But why is it that teams don't spend more time on the task at hand? Well, one way of understanding this is if we look at a team and we compare it to an individual working on her own. The benefits of teamwork, or the revenues of teamwork, are two. First, people have different thoughts and ideas and experience and knowledge, and if you can merge this knowledge into the team, you can create new knowledge and new ideas that no one individual would have been able to come up with on her own. Second, you can divide work between the individuals, and this will save time, of course, but it will also make it possible for each individual to deepen their understanding of their specific responsibility. However, working in a team also have costs if you compare it to working on your own. Some of this is connected to just the process of being a team. It takes longer time to listen to everyone, to organize, to make decisions, etc. And this is called the process cost of teams. In addition to this, we have something called social costs. For example, if you like or dislike a person, or if that person has a higher status in the room, that will influence how you perceive that person's thoughts and ideas. The costs of being a team offsets part of the revenues of being a team. And that means that for most teams, you only have a slight profit of being a team. And that's on average. You will also have a lot of teams in your organization where the costs will be higher than the revenues. That means that these teams will not be more effective than an individual would have been on her own. The conclusion is that for an organization to be effective, it must develop its capacity to collaborate, basically to make sure that the revenues are higher than the costs. Now, these challenges are addressed in a framework called the KICS model. KICS stands for Collective Intelligence Capability System, and it was developed at the Stockholm School of Economics here in Sweden. The researchers behind this model is Professor Andreas Werr and Dr. Philip Runsten. Now, let's go talk to Philip and learn more about how you as an organization can excel at cooperating.
So the KICS model is ultimately developed to help teams understand how they can work with their own collective intelligence in their own team. Every team is unique, and the situation they face is unique. They have unique team members. So we think that the best developers or coaches of teams must be the teams themselves. So the idea of the model is to help them understand, what factors matters in knowledge integration and how do these factors work together. So sharing such a model means that the teams can have efficient discussions on things they want to improve or things they want to do more of. And of course, to keep these costs of being a team as low as possible and the revenues as high as possible. In order to work together, teams need to share an understanding of the situation, what things that matters, the ultimate purposes, what objectives you have as you work together, and of course how you are organized to do these things. This is called a representation or a team mental model. And a successful representation means that it's a developed and advanced understanding of the situation and the organization. And it also means that it is shared so that the team members have the same understanding. And this is why we know that high-performing teams spend much more time discussing their representation than the low-performing teams do. You could actually say that a good representation is a continuous discussion, because that will make it more advanced and it will also make it more shared. So the reflection capability is the team's ability to collect and integrate its members' different thoughts, ideas, knowledge and skills and make this into shared advanced understanding. And here's the whole strength of a team, because if a team is successful in this, it can create a much larger and more advanced understanding than any individual can do on her own. Another important aspect of reflection is timing, to know when to stop and think, what is it that really matters here, or are we doing this in the right way? If you do this too seldom, you risk, of course, doing a lot of things that you shouldn't have done or needed to do. If you do it too often, you risk disrupting or disturbing the workflow and the process of the team. So you can actually say that reflection are two things. It's the timing and it's also the quality of how you reflect together and create this understanding. And that takes skill in how to listen to others, but also being good at presenting your own thoughts and ideas to others. We know that people are much better at reflection if they feel a fundamental trust in each other, something we call psychological safety. That means that people feel that they are relevant to the team and that they are appreciated by the team. It also means that they feel that if they make mistakes, it won't be held against them. So this improves reflection and it's essential in advanced work. At the same time, we know that prestige and conflicts or negative comments can ruin this process of knowledge integration. Therefore, it's essential that teams take this side of being a team, what we call the relation or the climate, seriously. It's actually so that one single negative comment can ruin the process of knowledge integration much more than pep talk and positive comments can do to improve. So that doesn't mean we shouldn't be doing the latter, but it means that teams are sensitive things when it comes to relations. Team reflection, representation and relation comes from somewhere, right? They don't just develop by themselves. They are actually a result of how all the team members act, do, talk, listens, how they time things. So what this means is that all team members should be aware that what they do matters all the time. It actually matters even what they don't do. So this capability is a reminder of this perspective. And we also know that high-performing teams, maybe their most salient factor is the team members' commitment to make the team work. If all team members act like that, but still keep their own integrity and of course also are aware of their own needs, that is what creates high-performing teams.